Went to the hospital, forgot my shoes. We walked in, Casey's obviously just going into labour. The nurses came to me and took me away, laid me down, gave me Hydrolite, and then took Casey away. So for the first 3 hours of Casey's labour, I was asleep.
So we're slowing the pre-construction stage down in order to speed the construction up.
Once they've got their plans and once they've got their DA, they're like, cool, we're on, shovels in the ground. But it's like, just cool your jets for a second. There's so much that we need to lock away. Like Lou Projects as a whole, like I think outside looking in, like he seems really grounded. Could be completely wrong.
Oh, I think you are. All right, cool. Well, I guess the purpose of our chat today was, funnily enough, you ringing me saying, hey, I want to have a vent with you because there's some shit going on in our industry and I'd love to just like vent that out to you rather than to my missus, and I feel exactly the same. But hilariously, what's brought this on also was the history of us talking about doing this. I remember specifically when you and I spoke, I think it was 2021, and I remember exactly where I was. I was at my Kinkumber house right next to my sliding door, and I remember calling you saying, oh, would you love to do a podcast with me? That was like 2021 and here we are now. So I'm glad we get to finally catch up. It's not just an opportunity to whinge, but it's more like hopefully someone takes a bit of value from this conversation.
Yeah, for sure. I think you can take so much value from people's lived experience. And I think, there could be a lot of gold. It could be, like we've been saying, we might be the only people that enjoy this, but we'll enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I think a lot of builders could resonate with so much stuff that we're saying, you know, without trying to make us out like we're whingers as well.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So why don't you just introduce yourself? Obviously, maybe people know me, but introduce yourself. What do you do? I mean, we obviously run 2 slightly different businesses. So I think it's really important that we understand the perspectives of 2 different sort of builders, not just on personality, but more so like
for sure
business models sort of thing.
Well, obviously I'm Troy. I own the business called Hudson Projects. And I would say like we're a couple of scales down in terms of size from Lou Projects. I adopted this slightly different model to what you do in terms of kind of sitting over the top of the business. Although I do that, I still work in the business. So I'm on the tools like still kind of 3.5 days a week. That's the aim. Not for any particular reason. I just love it. I just love still being on the tools. And that's how I kind of adopt my approach to all the projects. And I kind of do one big one and then a few smaller ones off that to keep us busy when other bigger sub trades are in there and there's nothing for us to do there. So that's kind of how I roll. Try and keep it small, keep it a little bit tight, and then that kind of frees me up. Gives us what we need in terms of family, and financially, like it's all we need. It's enough, and frees up a lot of my time to do other stuff. We've got 2 kids, 9 and 11, so super busy with them, sport, and all that kind of stuff.
So many things.
So many things.
And talking that's a good topic. Family, right? But obviously, my son, he's only 7 months old, but being a dad is like hilariously just the funniest time of your life, like in terms of self-reflection, I've found. And I guess I always told myself I wanted to be ready to be a dad, and people said, oh, there's never a perfect time, but we actually found the perfect time, and I am mentally ready. But it is awesome, and I see you all the time. I see you, I think we bumped into each other 3 or 4 times last week, just in the same, whether it's cafe, down the beach, or whatever it was. But I always recognise that you always prioritise your family. You always either got your son with you or your missus or whoever. And you spend a lot of time with them, but you're also a big community man. So you want to talk about that?
No, I appreciate you saying that, mate. Thank you. And it definitely wasn't always the case, for sure. There's one pivotal moment that changed everything for me, and it was a really big place that I built at Saratoga. It was 2015, and it was definitely the biggest project that I'd done. I was way out of my depth, for sure. But you've always got to take that.
You got to push the limits a little
bit. You've got to push the limits. You've got to do it. Timing probably wasn't perfect for that project to be so far out of my comfort zone. Fletch was 10 months old, Casey was pregnant with Everly. And the one kind of pivotal moment in the whole thing, and I'll always circle back to it and say to people when they're starting their business, I always tell this story. We were pouring the driveway. It was a really hot day. 4 of the concreters didn't turn up. And then so I was in getting the driveway done. It was like 35 degrees. Casey was about to pop with Everly. And and then I had sunstroke. It was all happening. And then got home, leading up to that, I just wasn't overly present because I was so focused on the business and this project. I'm like, this is where I want to be. I want to be building these homes. I want to try and have 2 on the go and really aspire to build from there.
Yeah.
And then I got home, I was totally cooked. We had a party to go to. Went to that party, Casey went into labour. And I was so done, like I was so sunburnt. And I'm like, it's all right, we're on here. Went to the hospital, forgot my shoes, forgot everything, like just got there. And then we walked in, Casey's obviously just going into labour. The nurses came to me and took me away, laid me down, gave me Hydrolite, and then took Casey away. So for the first 3 hours of Casey's labour, I was asleep, just getting electrolytes pumped into me. So I was good for the back end of it.
You had sunstroke, there's a bit going on there.
And then we joke about it now, but like, it was a bit of a sliding doors moment for me looking back on it. I'm like, if there's any time to be present and make sure you're at 100%, that's the time.
Yeah.
And then, this is nothing against the client, but I'll let someone else's priorities, getting their house done to a certain stage and all that, and a certain standard and everything, get in the way of, what really mattered, and what should have been the priority. And that was a huge moment for me.
Yeah. So what did you do in terms of like trying to pivot away from that?
I just really I finished that project,
Yeah.
and then I just made sure that I'm like, this is where I want to be. I just want the one big project at a time, just to really make sure that time's there. Hasn't always worked out that way, and it's definitely taken some more adjustments along the way to make sure that I am present and all that kind of stuff. Definitely not perfect at it by no means,
for sure.
But I think I'm definitely getting a lot better.
Yeah.
We're 10 years on. Everly was 10 a week ago. I'm still getting feedback about the labour thing, so it hangs around.
Still
it hangs around. Yeah.
It's like it's funny because like you said, you do one project at a time and a couple of little ones. Where we've got 4 projects at the moment, and some people might think how hard that might be, but hilariously, like if you asked me 6 months ago, I was like, far out. I'm in a bit of a shit fight. Like there's just too many things going wrong at the same time. When one project sort of fails, like a delay in a CC or whatever it is, you sort of got a couple other projects where you can spread labour across and keep subbies happy and all that kind of stuff. But when 2, 3 projects have delays or issues or whatever it is, and that when all the problems happen at the same time, that's when it feels like a proper shit fight.
Oh, for sure.
But when all projects are doing really well, and right now I'm absolutely pumped, like things are going good. 6 months ago, I was seriously recovering from about a year and a half of like, a year and a half ago, it was like, all right, job's pulled out. I've just got to sell myself. I've got to try and get projects back online. Yes. And I was saying yes to projects that I shouldn't have said yes to, which I'm paying for now, which I'm still in the middle of now. And I think that alone has just been something to really like figure out whether you really want to take on those projects in the future. I definitely don't want to, but I don't know if I told you this before, but like we have this consulting service now and everything goes through that consulting service.
Yeah, the pack process.
Yeah. And essentially like pretty much all those projects are converting, but I'm like well and truly across those projects. So we're slowing the pre-construction stage down in order to speed the construction up. And people are like, oh, let's get started. It's like, no. Like, we want to be able to start the project on time, deliver it on time, and on budget. So, like, if you've got a timeline of 12 months for a project, and you, I guess, there's design changes, there's delays with certification, there's engineering issues, there's all this kind of stuff that should have been done in pre-construction. lighting. That's a big one, like people just have no idea what they want to do with lighting.
Critical. Yeah.
And then instead of just getting through with it, you schedule everything in, everything's perfect, all the subbies are lined up. All it takes is one delay and it's a domino effect. And then you've got an overlap of different projects all happening at the same time. And then you've got all the subbies pissed off because we had all that ready to go. Yeah. We had the resources ready to go. Yeah. Now you want us to do it now and we've got other jobs we've got to commit to. Like these projects are just the worst to deal with, But everything through our consulting service, like we got one on the moment and everything's just moving so quickly, so smoothly. But it's because I force the clients and the architect or the designer to just say, hey, we need to sort this out before we even start.
Yeah.
And that means that we can make money, we can get stage claims through on time, and we can just push on with the job and then move on to the next one. And it's not to say we want to rush the job. That's not what we're trying. We're just being efficient. It's not efficient to make changes during a project.
Yeah.
It's the most inefficient thing to do. It's like you need to there's certain RFIs that come up, don't get me wrong, but it's not whole design changes that holds up the entire project.
Oh, for sure. It sounds cliche, but it's that old saying, preparation prevents poor performance. And it's that's 100%. I don't quite have as thorough a process as that, but I do adopt a similar model pre the project. And nearly every client is once they've got their plans and once they've got their DA, they're like, cool, we're on, shovels in the ground. Yeah. But it's just cool your jets for a second. There's so much that we need to lock away. And then when you miss certain things, even I'll put my hand up if I miss certain things in that process, and then you get to that stage of the job, it's like, okay, cool, I've missed this, I need some. And when you need pretty big questions answered, like those RFIs answered immediately, client might be away or whatever, and then then the juggling act comes into it on the workarounds, getting subbies rescheduling, all that kind of stuff. And 2025, it's not, subbies aren't waiting around for our phone calls now. Where even 10 years ago where I could, Tyler, for example, and you could ring them 4 or 5, 6 weeks out and say, hey, we're going to be ready. Yeah, we're waterproofing next week. You can't do that now. No. You're booking them 3-4 months out. Yeah. And if you miss the date, you miss the date.
But all it takes is on their side, just one job to go wrong.
Exactly, on another job, and then you're delayed as well. Yeah. But that pre-construction phase is just so critical. Yeah. It's sure. I think it's the most important part of the job. Yeah.
It must be difficult though, I would obviously you're going to comment on this, but it must be difficult when you're trying to just run one project at a time too.
Yeah. So it is. It has its advantages and definitely its disadvantages. Yeah. So for example, with running the one project, having to peel away from the project as you're getting to that pre-construction phase to then get the next one addressed.
So it's ready to go.
I'm really lucky with my boys that I've got. They're awesome. I'm really, really lucky with the boys. Their work ethic is second to none. They're really good with the clients. So when I'm away from the job, I don't have to worry about them too much. I like everything set up and just make sure I know that they're just flowing and things are less stressful on them because they're not trying to make decisions for me. So I try and make sure that everything's set up on that side. But yeah, it does get a bit tricky when I guess you don't have a dedicated PM to that job and it doesn't matter if you're not in that job. Yeah, that can get tricky. Yeah. And also having the one job at a time, for example, with COVID was really hard for me because when I was just finishing a really big project in Wombi and the banks closed up progress inspections and we were finishing up. So the progress inspection before that, they were having to do it via Zoom, but the final they weren't. And they said, we can't pay you because we can't get anyone out there. I'm like, cool.
So
this is pretty interesting. What do we do here? And then they said, we haven't got any answers. We don't know what to do. I'm like, okay. And the clients they were beside themselves. They were lovely people and they were really upset by the whole thing. And then my supplier at the time, they didn't know what was happening. They were freaking out. So they lowered everyone's credit limit. So then I was trying to get another job started, used up all our savings. I've actually got a photo of it, a printout at home, and I like telling people this. I had $87 in the bank. Everyone was paid. Casey and I weren't paid, but that's just the trials and tribulations of business. Sometimes everyone was in the thick of it. Yeah. I think as a builder, you're either laughing when COVID hit, or you were really hurting.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
for sure.
I was on the latter.
Yeah.
But I guess that's one of the disadvantages of only having one project. If I potentially had 2 projects, that one could have probably carried that little period through financially.
Yeah.
But because I don't, that's not how I'm structured. That hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was to my point. Like, it can be a really simple and easy model, and it can give you the lifestyle that you want to achieve.
Correct.
But when all it takes is like that next project to be delayed by a month, 6 weeks, whatever it is, and then you're just like getting boys to just sweep in your shed or whatever it is. You know,
work
like,
at home.
it's not good money spent, really.
For sure, and then you dwindle your savings because we're working at home and stuff. But
yeah, for sure, you're not getting any cash flow in.
That's right.
Yeah, and like I said, it's more like you're a family man. You want to spend your time with your family and with your community, and you're never going to have it all. You know, like thing with me is I'd love to do what you're doing, but I spend a lot more time in the office.
Yeah.
And there's never a perfect scenario. There's always give and take.
Well, and like we're sitting in here, and that's a testament to your hard work as well, mate.
Yeah.
Like it's like, you know, your place is beautiful, and you like really, like Lou Projects as a whole. Like I think outside looking in, like he seems really grounded. Could be completely wrong.
Oh, I think you are.
Might be like a duck on the surface, like feet are going bananas. But no, it's like really grounded and humble. Like whereas you kind of look at, you know, some other business models, and we were talking about this before. You know, there's other companies that I know that are your kind of size, but they've got every truck and excavator known to man, and they're just really pushing it, and they've got their big cars and mortgage up the hill. And it's crazy. There's so much unnecessary stress.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. But some people thrive on that, and that's how they, you know, that's how they live.
I would lose a bit of sleep if I had all of that going on.
Oh,
and if you're just chasing that check every single week, it'd be tough.
Yeah, and you only need some pretty big things to go wrong.
For sure. That's what happened to me.
Yeah.
I've recovered from it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like you're going to get out of it when you're in the thick of it, of course.
Yeah.
But when you get out of it, you're like, I'm laughing now.
For sure.
And I'm glad we're doing this now with a positive mindset, like for me.
Rather than 6 months ago.
6 months ago, I'm like, I would just whinge the whole time.
Yeah. No, I love it. Like I love it. Sometimes it does get stressful, don't get me wrong, building 100%. And every now and again, probably once or twice a year, I'll have the chat with Case like, mate, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, because it's just, but it mostly comes off the back of not the stresses of the jobs, but like mistakes. Like I'm a big, injustice really kind of gripes me. And when things, when people kind of don't act or, you know,
behave like you would.
Yeah. And take accountability for their actions and all that kind of stuff. That really, like, I hold that, like that really 100%. Grinds me. And I'm like, because part of me, I'm like, well, what's there to stress about in you to think that you can do a substandard job and want to charge this and then be cranky at me for saying, hey mate, can you please come and fix your work? You know, and don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect with that kind of stuff. Like with my admin, like, you know, every now and again, like an invoice will go through to the keeper and I've got it, you know, and then I'll call, be like, mate, that invoice, I'm like, like there's stuff that happens. Like
stuff that's
I'll put my hand up for sure. I make mistakes like that. But what really gripes me is when people come, you know, to your site that you take so much pride in, knowingly trying to do a bad job and then, you know, try and argue about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen often.
And then want to get paid straight away.
And then want to get paid. Mate, are you kidding me? You know.
You just got to go through a process.
Yeah. So that's probably, that's one of the big ones. And
but that's that whole accountability thing, right?
It is.
It doesn't just stem to subbies, yourself. I think it stems to clients.
Yeah.
Architects, consultants. What we're finding is like, you know, rather than just saying, yeah, sorry, I did fuck up. That's honestly like, that opens up people's empathy.
Yeah.
People think like, if I dig my heels in, this would be a better outcome for me, but it's not. It doesn't help anyone at all. If you just admit, all right, yeah, sorry guys, that was on me. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
the whole process moving forward is just going to be a hell of a lot easier, because people go, oh, you know, that if you said that to me, I'd say, oh, that's a relief, because I've fucked up before.
Yeah.
So that means we've already connected. So let's figure it out. And I think that's the whole thing that people miss. It's like, and it definitely, I'm not hammering on subbies at more than consultants, to be honest. Like, I think there's a lot to be said about consultants with the designs, and they're sort of get stuck in this office and then in their own little zone.
Yeah.
And then aren't in check with reality. So I think consultants have a lot to say about taking responsibility.
Oh, for sure.
And I think that all that sort of links into this whole legislation issue with New South Wales and just this liability issue. We're just in a world now where everyone's just, well, you know, you could sue me or you go to court, rather than just going, yeah, sorry, let's figure it out, you know.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be so complicated, you know?
For sure. And that's and as you go on and you kind of get your years or the kind of the notches on the belt with work, you figure out which are the good consultants to work with and which ones aren't. The engineers that I work with, they're awesome, older engineers.
Yeah,
like
they are, definitely.
Like they've just been there, done that.
They know what
they're
works.
happy to come to the job and make a call on the spot without getting reports, because they've worked on the coast for 35 years. And like, I really enjoy chatting to them as well, because they've seen the industry and how much it's changed. Oh, you learn so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been on projects where owners or architects have engaged, different engineers or whatever, and you've got younger guys who are all awesome people.
Of course.
But they'll want to have a 45-minute meeting about a tie down or something. And it's like...
And just also just over-engineer everything.
Over-engineer.
And then that translates, what that little line on a piece of paper and a little condition over here and a little clause over there, that translates to thousands of dollars.
Yeah, 100%.
So is that necessary? You know, like...
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not an engineer, so I'm not going to comment on that. But like, when I compare it to, like, you know, the older engineers, you're like, this is a very basic slab. It's really nice to see this for once.
Yeah.
Compared to some of the complicated ones that you see
100%.
for like a single level flat dwelling.
Yeah, 100%. And what's really nice, like with those older engineers, is like, and I've had conversations with them, and they're like, yeah, well, we're just relying on you doing your job properly.
Exactly.
So younger engineers are being taught to
never rely.
Account for people not doing their job properly. So then things won't fail really, because you've over-engineered it, and they can do a little bit, you know, of a shoddier job, and it's still going to be okay.
Yeah. You almost need to penalise the builders that are doing a really bad job. Because that makes us, like, there might be 20%, 30% of the builders that are actually really good builders. Yeah. And the rest of them just ruin it for the rest of us, because it's like, HBCF insurance has gone up, all this stuff has gone up. That's not because of us. It's because of those guys.
Mate, there's some great examples of this, of units that are being built, like, on the way into Terrigal at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like...
I think I know the ones.
And I'm like, but that's the reason why everything's going up for us. Yeah. Because in 3 years' time, there's going to be really big HBCF claims on those, because they're going to be leaking like a sieve. Stuff's going to be failing. Yeah. But then we kind of have to foot that bill in some respect, because our premiums go up, and like in the amount of work, like, you know, that we've got to do we might get another eligibility review because we might fall in that bracket. I had an eligibility review on this project at Evoca, just because, like, my size business and turnover fell into the bracket where they really wanted to make sure that everyone was doing the right thing. And it's like, I'm happy to do it, but then that's just another cost for my business that I've got to, because I've got to pay consultants for HBCF to come and do 100%. Inspections on the job and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and that takes your time. That's some of the thing that everyone misses, right? You know, you do your eligibility thing, you apply for that. That might take 20, 30 hours of your time 100%. To just do that.
100%.
And you have to do it every year.
Yeah.
So, these are the costs of the running the business. So say if you charge yourself $150 an hour, $150 an hour just like spending it just doing that one part of that admin for the business. Yeah. But then there's like thousands of them that you have to sort out now because of the over legislation and over complication. Yeah. It's just
it's got a place, and I think it's really good that it's all there, but And I guess we're never going to find that middle ground because people are so dodgy.
Yeah.
You know, so, and you can almost guarantee that those units will be sold and then that company will go and then there'll be no accountability, no repercussions on that, whoever built them, because they won't be able to find them.
For sure.
So then they're like, okay, well then it's just got to be dispersed amongst the whole
everyone's got to pay for it.
Building cohort, and then everyone's got to pay for it. Well, it's even a non-cost to the client really, because at the end of the day, they pay for their policy
for sure
against the house. So then, clients that are wanting to spend their hard-earned on their home and renovate and all that kind of stuff end up having to foot some of the bill for some dodgy person that they've never met. Yeah.
The insurance is funny, eh? Like you're spending for probably $1.5 million. You're probably spending, I don't know, 23, 24 something on just insurance. And it's interesting because I'm not sure if many people know this, but the insurance only covers you if your builder goes bankrupt or leaves the country, right?
Yeah.
If you want your builder to come and fix something, that's just a conversation, right? But if they refuse to do it, then that's a court issue, and the judge has to basically issue a demand for the builder to do it. You don't want to be heading down that route, but the insurance is there as a sort of backup.
That's right.
For that falls to, turns to shit. But then they only insure up to 340 grand.
Yeah, it's bananas.
Yeah, but it's the ratio is wide, and not that I'm building too many $10 million houses, but if you pay, if it's a $10 million house, I think I looked at it a while ago just to test it out. It was like 150 grand's worth of insurance.
Yeah.
But you only get 340 grand's worth of cover.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying that. I mean, it is unfair for those builds, realistically. Why does the insurance not cover it based on the amount that you actually contribute to the HBCF pot?
Yeah.
Because, a 340 grand, that could be one kitchen on that sort of scale of build.
For sure. It's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. So I think the insurance, HBCF needs a bit of restructuring. And also, you would remember this, but it used to be privatised.
Yes.
So it used to be like a couple insurance companies.
Yeah.
And it was heaps cheaper and simpler. But now it's government run, which we know government loves spending more money than it should. And then I think that's part of the reason why the premium's gone up, because there's so many people involved in this insurance.
Yeah.
Overcomplicating it. So then they budget to actually run the insurance, HBCF.
Yeah.
It's going through the roof.
Yeah, 100%. I think the end goal's there, like with HBCF and the Building Commission and all that kind of stuff, and hopefully before our time's done building, there's that good cohesion there between the two of them. But I guess when it was privatised and it was like a little bit cheaper and easier to make claims, I think it was a lot easier for those builders to get things to a certain stage and then vanish. And then HBCF would pick it up. So then, home warranty insurance was what it was called back then.
Yeah.
It was almost like clearing the conscience of the dodgy guys.
Yeah.
So then they would knowingly go into a project at X amount.
Knowing that
they were going to finish it just before finish up just before fix out stage, get a final claim and vanish, and then start another company up.
I don't know how people sort of live with themselves doing that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. It was
pretty shocking.
Like rife. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when it all kind of first came in, it was, nuts.
Yeah. So it's, these things are there to protect people from people like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
But then the good people, so
that's right.
You and I
know,
end up, having to pay for it, which actually extends to the client anyways. They end up having to pay for it, really.
Yeah, exactly.
It's another cost part of the reason why everything's so expensive to build.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, 100%. It's really like my father-in-law's a builder, and he's been a builder his whole life, and it's a really cool story actually. His dad was a builder, and all his brothers worked for the business, and they're from originally from Sydney, and they all work together, and it's just really nice and it's wholesome. And whenever I get the opportunity to go and work with him again just for a day, I always do it, because it's like back to kind of the roots type thing of how building should be. There's nothing's overcomplicated. It's just good, wholesome building.
That's what sort of you're sold on.
Yeah.
You know, as a builder, like you're a young builder, you're like, oh, this is what it's like, you know. But then now I'm just finding myself just navigating
for sure
through all the bullshit. Really.
All these like little rabbit holes of legislation and
Yeah.
and insurance and all that kind of stuff, and it's almost taking you away a little bit
Yeah.
from being a builder. Like you're the license holder. I think you could probably get to a stage of your business where you're the license holder and like you're the builder.
Yeah.
But you've actually got no relationship to any of the jobs at all.
Well, that's
aside from the license number being on it, because you're constantly in getting, you know, insurances tidied up or changing this, managing people and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, the whole idea is like with small business, right? It's meant to be small. Like you don't have, I guess, whole departments to take care of HR, take care of finance.
Right.
You're basically one person and you might hire an admin and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But for a team of 12, 14 guys, like it just feels like there's way too much admin.
Oh, for sure.
For a small business.
100%. And the rules are the
defeats
same.
the whole purpose of the whole small business.
That's right. And the rules are the same for a small, like a business of 5, which is mine, and to a business of 14, which is yours, to a business of 50. Like, but that business of 50, you have 3 people that deal with all that stuff.
Yeah.
But with us, like, the rules are the same. We're meant to kind of adhere to all these different HR rules and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, where do you even start?
Yeah. Imagine doing all the requirements of like safety stuff on the site. I can tell you now, we don't do all of it. You know, like every time a truck pulls up, you're meant to have traffic control.
Oh no.
Imagine if you did that. Like it would add hundreds of thousands of dollars to a job, and then you just price yourself out of a job. They just go, well, hold on, this seems really high. Why is your preliminaries or your safety or your whatever it is, hire items that's involved in to running this job? Why is it 30% of the entire project? You know?
Yeah.
And rightfully so. Like they would question that, even if it's through that, you know, that pack process that I mentioned. It's still like a high number, and there's no way I'm doing that.
Oh, for sure. And safety is a tricky one. It's because you're relying on people's common sense and sensibility in and around that,
and awareness of other people.
Awareness.
Yeah.
But some people just don't have that.
No.
And you know, when you get subbies on board, that they might have quite a big crew. Like a formwork crew might have 20 guys. You know, that work for them, the 25 guys. They'll come in. Not all the 25 might be there, but the owner of the crew might not even have a relationship with some of these workers, so he doesn't even know what they're like, and they get to your job. I'm like, mate, do you know old mate's wearing one shoe or something? You know, like, it's as ridiculous as it sounds, but it's like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, he has no idea what he's doing on a job site, mate. Like, this is actually dangerous.
For sure.
And then, so you've got to constantly have your eyes on them and making sure that they're doing their job properly, not putting themselves at risk.
Yeah. You can get your subbies to sign all these contracts, which we obviously do.
Yeah.
It has the safety stuff on, and then you can get, can't remember what that safety sign is, the yellow one.
Hazard code.
Hazard code, yeah. You can get them. You pay it. That's another cost of the business.
Yeah.
No one signs them, so let's be real. Like, you really need to enforce that. But you could do that, like I was saying, you could do that subby contract, but then they could bring in a whole different crew and a new apprentice and whatever else it is.
Yeah. That
kid, like young apprentice that's only been on the job for a week, hurts himself, and then it becomes your drama.
Correct.
And it doesn't matter if the principal contractor signed a subby statement. It doesn't mean shit. So then, like, when things go wrong, it can go wrong bad. But it's like, how am I supposed to manage that and take my guys away from actually building? It's not cost effective, because then you have to increase your resourcing allowances, you know, for your project management, site supervision, all that kind of stuff.
100%. I think it's, like you are relying on people to do the right thing with that. And unfortunately, like, the buck stops with us with that, because it's like, at the end of the day, the responsibility is always going to swing its way back around to us, which is a tricky one to kind of manage and navigate, and also hold on to that stress a little bit as well, because when you're not at the job watching everyone all the time, you're kind of thinking, I hope they're doing this right, I hope they're doing that right. But just like probably 6 weeks ago, the plumber's apprentice was cutting some blocks, and and he just had his hand there and like cutting, and I'm like, and I'm just giving the plumber's apprentice a little tutorial on the circular saw. It's like, and I kind of cast my mind, I'm like, if I wasn't watching it that split second, would he have realised, or would he have just kept going? And then, that's what it's all about. I'm sure that happened to me when I was a young guy as well.
Oh, for sure.
So it all swings and roundabouts, but it's another thing that's kind of on our sub plate, I guess. We've got our main plate that's already overflowing. We've got another little plate that we've got to
it's a good way to look at it, for sure.
Taken from as well.
Yeah.
The really big one for me is comms, and I probably over communicate with my subbies a little bit. Constantly kind of flicking me emails with how the job's going, updated programs, this, that, and the other. And sometimes what is a little bit of a gripe for me is when they'll ask me questions when they're needed. I'm like, yeah, cool. Like, when do you want me back? I was like, did you see the email? Yeah, I did. I didn't open it. I was like, okay, cool, sweet.
So if you read that, you wouldn't have to ask me. Me,
It's not my my regular subbies are awesome. Like they'll ring. Like my Sparky, I had a conversation with him like last week. He's like, mate, we're due on the 21st, 22nd. Double checking we're doing this, and this, which is so good. Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, Sparky's generally pretty good.
Yeah. But then you get some that are just really like, you're really hand feeding them every element of their job.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm just like, I just want to learn your trade, and I'll just do it myself. Yeah.
How much energy does that suck out of you?
Yeah.
Like, we talk about energy, it's like that thinking.
Yeah.
That consumes energy, and that's why it's sort of like in the office when I'm sitting around doing nothing, as everyone calls it.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm so buggered. Because I'm constantly problem solving. Yeah. And if you're having to problem solve someone else's trade, something that they specialize in, it's like, what are we doing here? Like you said, why don't I just learn the trade and I'll teach them? Because our team is awesome. We can when the carpentry's there, we just like smash the work out.
Yeah.
But then you've got to wait for trades to finish all their bits and pieces. And like I said, most of our trades are awesome. But then you bring in this sub trade that's like, specialist balustrading or specialist handrail thing. Like, it's a new personality. It's a new like understanding of, like, we got one project talking about trying to figure out it's a brass handrail. And you think, oh, brass. No, it's a full specialist thing. So like trying to navigate the right person for the right job, and then they get to the job and you're like, oh, you're not the right person.
Yes.
The price would have felt right.
Yeah.
And then they start and you're like, oh, you've got no idea what you're doing. You've just said yes to this because it was an opportunity. Yeah. And that's the gnarliest thing about this. I'd rather people just say, hey, I've never done this before. I'm going to give it a crack. How do you feel about it? Yeah. Then I'd have a little bit more of an understanding or sort of resetting the expectations of
their capabilities as well.
Yeah. And I think that the honesty thing in this industry is really difficult for people to sort of...
Oh, mate. Yeah. And I don't know whether it's a pride thing. I think for the most part, people aren't dishonest. Yeah. But I think, but like trades, like I think there is a little bit of kind of automatic kind of alpha thing that gets adopted to it, and so they don't want to admit that they might not know what they're doing, or all that kind of stuff. And I think it just comes down to the comms. You just got to keep the communication flowing, and but some people don't. Some people don't. No. Yeah. Like, it's just like I won't say like the particular trade, but like this particular trade, like you had like 4 guys there and they were pumping out the work, which was awesome. And then 3 times on that, I'd get a call and say, hey, we've run out of this. A really basic element for that particular trade that he should be taking care of 100% of the time. But he's stopping his work to ring me to say, hey, we've run out of that. I was like, yep, so what do you want to do? Do you want me? Are you saying you want me to get it? And he's like, well, yeah, do you reckon you can just get the young guys to go down and get some? And I'm like, no, mate, because...
You've got a contract.
Like, yeah, you've
priced this.
You know what you're doing. You know that that's your scope. Like, why am I stopping what I'm doing to go and get stuff for you so then you can keep going?
Yeah, so you
to
can
make the most out of your
Yeah.
contract. Can you not see how this isn't really fair?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
No, they don't see that.
No, they don't. They're just like... But they just kind of see... Sometimes they'll see, like, my apprentice as their apprentice, like, for them just to go and get stuff or whatever.
Yeah, run errands.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Like, come to your job organised. Know the plans. Can you mark out where that's going?
Yeah.
No. I always do. I talk a tough game, but I always do. But it's like, there's like a really detailed set of drawings, laminate there at the job at all times. You get sent the drawings, you could not be more prepared. How don't you know that is there, or that's there, or, you know, that gets super frustrating.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess tolerance. We find that when things are going really good, like I'm a better man with my family and my friends and everyone else. I have more space and time for them. When they're not going great, and you've really problem solving and thinking about all the things that are just all really going wrong at the same time. I notice that my tolerance, my ability to just respond to normal situations is really quite low. You know, like Inika might go, "Oh, what are we having for dinner?" "Oh, you make a decision." It's like, well, why am I talking like that? You know, like, she understands that it's from work, and she'll be like, "Hey, what's going on?" You know, and then that's that whole vent thing, right? You know, like whinging about work, and she obviously works in the business, so she sees it all, and sometimes she brings it up. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that, you know, we're not that actual person.
Yeah.
And the ability to recognize that, oh shit, I'm in a bit of a shit fight at the moment. That's why I've got a short fuse. How do I get out of this? Yeah. Is the biggest challenge. And like, I think the biggest reset for me was recently with Sean Sullivan, who obviously you're pretty good mates with. Yeah. And I love Sean, he's a legend. And we did this workshop, and he talked a lot about energy, right? And it's not that woo-woo energy sort of stuff, but like, he makes a very good point of, you know, that energy that you bring to the team, to your family, really changes the dynamic and the feel of the rest of the day or the week or whatever it is. Like, if I'm coming into this office going, everything's fucked, mate, like everything, blah, 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 you know, like, it's unspoken, but people can feel it. If I'm bringing that energy into my project managers or whatever, they're going to bring that same energy into the team or whoever they're dealing with. Yeah. And at different times, we're all running different races, right? We all have different things going on, like, and something really important to acknowledge, that like, we all either have families or we all got our own things going on in our lives, and we're not always going to be 100%. But I guess the one thing to acknowledge is like, well, if I'm running on 30%, someone's got to pick up the 70%. Yeah. I'll check that I did the numbers right there for a second. Oh, no. You're good. Yeah, I'm sweet. Whew. Yeah. And it's okay to be running at 30% every now and again, but if the person that you're dealing with just acknowledges that, all right, cool, well, I'm here to pick up that energy and help you out, then let's go. I'll pick up the slack there. But if you sort of like, you can fall into the trap of like, oh, he's in a shit mood, well, I'm going to be in a shit mood, everyone's in a shit mood, everyone's going to start talking to people really poorly. Efficiency, happiness, all that kind of stuff, effectiveness, it just plays out on the job site, plays out in your family.
Oh, definitely. So definitely. I'll have to say, like, I'm incredibly spoiled in that department. Like, Case, like I said, my father-in-law's a builder, so like she's grown up in a building family, and it's the trials and tribulations and everything that comes with it is kind of second nature for her. So we won't even have conversations when I'm kind of under the pump at work. She knows, and yeah, she just kind of takes care of everything. Like, I'm incredibly lucky in that department. Yeah. It's actually our anniversary today, so.
Oh, well, happy anniversary. How many years?
Give her a prop. 14. 2011. I was struggling with maths then too. 2011.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
no, congratulations.
She's a legend.
Long time.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, no, she's a legend, and she's really, she's awesome. Super grounded, super, can just tell when things are under the pump, and she knows that if, and that's not, like you said, that's not to say our problems are bigger than anyone else's, not by any stretch. Definitely. But there's some times that we might be dealing with 15 little problems. But if each of those 15 problems took up 8% of your capacity, all of a sudden by the 13th problem, you're already at capacity. Then you've got 2 more to try and deal with. Although they might be small, you've got to try and triage them and deal with them in the right priority.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just all consuming. And then when you are trying to deal with those, what I find sometimes can get tricky on the job site, it doesn't matter who it is, when they're coming up to talk to you, they want your undivided attention for that, however long it is. And I feel it's a very important part of my role to give them that. But sometimes it's also incredibly difficult because you've just spoken to a subby, or you've spoken to someone that has told you it's a 6-week lead time, and then you're 2 weeks out from the 6-week lead time, then you get another call to say, oh, hey, it's another 5 weeks, and it's a critical path item, and you're like, okay, how am I going to get the work around this? This has a knock-on effect for 5 other trades.
For sure.
And then you've got to talk to another trade that might kind of seem pretty mundane to you, but it's not to them. And I think it's really important to not make them feel like thing they want to talk to you about is not warranted. One thing actually is funny, like we always, like every couple of weeks, we catch up and grab a coffee, like myself and my immediate team. We have a little chat, and I did a little value sheet at the start of the year just with some really kind of basics of what Hudson Lane's core values are and what I kind of see as importance, and communication, integrity, and all that kind of stuff was part of it. And we always try and circle back to those and make sure that we're hitting those markers. And I always like to say, if there's anything that you think that I could be doing better, I'm all ears, because I'm always continually learning, evolving, and all that kind of stuff. And one of the things that the boys said was, it would actually be better if you just blew up every now and again, because we can tell when you're under the pump, but it actually makes it worse because you don't blow up. You've just kind of, and then if we make a mistake in that period, you've kind of got this look that is way worse for us to try and handle. And they were being genuine for us to try and handle, because it's just this disappointment look. We'd rather you go, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
And then we can kind of be a little bit angry at that,
but
then deal with it a bit better, rather than like, oh, we really fucked up there. Like, he's disappointed. So it's funny how like their take on things, and I try not to.
Were they all saying that, or was it just one of them? Or?
No, I think they all had a bit of a chat, and they're like, we've got to talk to Drew about him not blowing up.
That's good, at least they feel comfortable to be able to.
And it's good, and that's what I'm just so lucky with the people I've got around me. I think that tolerance thing as well, I think that's really made easier by your village, your bigger circle.
Yeah.
I think if you've got kind of shittier people around you that you don't like hanging around with, that kind of take a lot of your energy, I think having your tolerance to all the things that you need to address can be diminished, because you've got some bad energy, like Sean says, bad energy focused on people that you might not necessarily want to hang out with. I'm incredibly lucky. Everyone that hangs around me makes me like better.
For sure.
So I'm so lucky in that department.
Yeah.
Friends, family, the whole lot. But yeah, tolerance is a hard one.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel really bad. Like, it even goes like right back to me making that initial decision with being present and all that kind of stuff. When your tolerance is low, I find the presence slips away.
For sure.
Because like you're kind of trying to think, how can I rejig this? How can I do this? How can I do that? And you're prioritizing your energy for someone else, and then it's lacking in the family department. So sometimes you do have to check yourself a fair bit on that. And I know, and I look at some other businesses and business owners, like not necessarily in building, but all trades. And I've got a lot of admiration for them, but also I've got, a little bit of empathy for them too, and concern, because I'm like, how do you actually do it? Like, it's got to be.
When are you going to crack?
When are you going to crack? Because it is all give and take. Like, it's not just all giving, because you've got to take from some area. Like, everyone runs at a capacity.
Yeah.
And
it's only certain hours in the
some guys
day.
think that they've got infinite capacity, but the truth is they don't. And it's like, dude, you're running on sniffing an oily rag here. Like something's going to crack soon.
Which is actually, a good point, because like we've got a couple subbies that are like yes men. You know, like they're fucking great at their art. You know, they're obviously very much needed and wanted because it's hard to find good trades. These particular trades, they do pretty much 100% of our work. But they're just yes men, and they say yes to too many things rather than, even if it's just from us, we're like, oh shit, this thing's come up. Can you get there and sort it out? Yeah, for sure. But really, they can't get there.
I know.
You should have said, no, I'll get there in 3 weeks, and then that means that I can finish this job, keep that client happy. It's like you're giving 50% to everyone. It's not enough. Everyone's sort of just at 50% annoyed. So I think being a tradie specifically would be tough. Like going from job site to job site, like the labor allocation thing there would be tough trying to figure out. Like if it's just one or two of yous, it'd be easy to a point, obviously. But then when there's like, you know, multiple builders, multiple projects, multiple clients, going from job site to job site, you might do 4 hours there, 3 hours here. That's a tough job for a tradie. So, you know, not trying to like give them excuses, but I think if you've been doing it for so long, you should have an understanding of how long things take too.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? Don't say that's going to take a day when it takes 5 days. Like how far, you missed the mark on that, you know, like what happened? So, and I guess with custom homes too, like you're always doing something new and different and complex.
Yeah.
So it's a learning path for everyone. By the time you're really bloody good at this, you'll be 50 and you'll be wanting to retire anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think, like off the back of that, without any disrespect to the guys that have, like sometimes we're dealing with guys that left school incredibly early on and started a trade because they, you know, school might not have been for them, and academically they're not, they're probably, you know, not the sharpest guys academically, but their craft, they're just second to none at, and they know everything about it and they take so much pride in it. But I think sometimes with that comes an element of like management of your business that just isn't there.
For sure.
So I find sometimes I'm also kind of helping, without sounding condescending, managing their business as well, to say, okay, cool, what about if you go do this one here, you can start mine, that'll allow me to do this, that can do that, then you can do that.
Yep.
And then everything can kind of flow for them. And I think that's a tricky element as well.
Yeah.
But
you're helping them.
Yeah, you're helping for sure. And then you see guys that do it really well.
Yep.
Like both our Sparkies like work pretty similar. And they both kind of treat their staff very similar. They both like do workshops and all that kind of stuff. So they're really upskilling all their staff on the basics of business and how you've got to manage clients and builders' expectations and all that kind of stuff. And that's why they're so good to work with, the boys. But then you get other trades, it's just not a priority for them.
For sure.
Like they couldn't give a shit what the client thinks.
Yeah.
Like, because they're like, mate, I don't give a shit that I'm working on your $3 million home. You've got more money than sense. Why am I worried about what you think?
That's a mentality
I'm flat
issue,
stick.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get there when I get there. And unfortunately, that's some of their mentalities, and you've got to try and manage that. Yeah, super tricky.
Yeah.
Super tricky.
Yes. Like I said, it'd be tough being a tradie. Like,
so tough. So tough.
Trying to keep everyone happy. Like for me, it's like 3 projects, 4 projects.
Yeah.
I've got 4 clients, 4 architects, team.
Yeah.
But then they might have 100 clients they have to deal with.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure. Tough. And then when they've got like your smaller sub-trades, when they're working for builders and for private clients, and you can see like if it's been a particularly bad month with potentially getting invoices paid on time and all that kind of stuff, and then that ebbs and flows with how
for sure
everything is. And
weather.
Like,
imagine being a roofer.
Oh.
Wet tin, no deal, or whatever they call it. I can't remember what they're saying.
I know. Like
wet steel, no deal, that's the one.
It's brutal. It's brutal. And it, like roofers in particular, like it's raining, they can't work.
Yeah.
And then it's like baking hot.
Yeah.
Like they're providing the shade for everyone. So
For
like
sure.
they're not.
Yeah, and they're just absolutely cooking.
Yeah.
They all got good tans though. I mean,
they all look good.
Yeah. Maybe I should be up there.
Imagine it.
But hey, let's close this off. We'll we want to talk about something, nice, I guess.
Yeah.
Obviously, you and I both do jiu-jitsu. How long have you been doing it for?
5 years?
5 years, yeah. So I've only been doing it for a year. I've only got a couple stripes, but, no need to brag. I'm doing all right.
It's all moving the needle.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where I got this black eye from. I'm not sure if anyone can see this on the camera. Got a couple elbows in one session.
Yeah.
But how funny is jiu-jitsu, like in terms of like how it translates to real life, like the reality of like earning your stripes? That is literally, like our gym is awesome because they're reluctant to hand out stripes, but it's like doing the time, doing the work, even when you're tired, just keep rolling. Like all that mentality, it's not like this full stoic mentality, but like in order for you to earn your stripes, you got to do the work and you got to actually like listen and pay attention. And how much does that translate into life really? Like if you want to like, if you want to be a black belt or you want to be a really good builder or you want to be a good tradie, a great roofer or whatever, you've got to do the time. You don't just get to having that skill or having that money from just rocking up and going, well, I want that. I'm entitled to that. I'm going to grab that. Because people just go, well, this guy's a shit tradie. And there's plenty of shit tradies that are just getting signed off either too early, not doing the work, not learning. And that's a responsibility of the builder or the trade also, where, they're not given opportunity to learn. And for me, I'm like, it's so important for me, for our apprentices to learn as much as possible. But yeah, going back to the jiu-jitsu, like, how well does that translate?
Oh, it's unbelievable. And it's like, in every facet, like you were saying, and it's why I really enjoy it is because like I'm super active, like and train heaps and swim, surf and but with training and like get in the ocean and stuff, like it's just next level. But I can always have that ability to like, a little thought will pop up and go, got to touch base with Tyler about that set down. That could be at 20 to 6 on a Tuesday morning. That thought will pop in. And if I'm training or whatever, I've kind of got the capacity now where I can still be thinking about that and training at the same time.
Oh, well.
But jiu-jitsu, there's no...
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Like, I thought you were talking about,
But like jiu-jitsu, there's no option for that.
No.
Like you need to be, like when I get there and I shut the car door, like I've got this little routine with myself and I just like, I shut work and I lock it in the car. I crack the windows, but I lock work in the car and then I'll walk away from it because and I've had it a few times where I've gone there, heaps of stuff on with work, you're not listening to instruction, then you get to do the technique and I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah. And your coach makes fun of you?
Yeah, 100%. And, like, they're like, I love my coach, but he's not backwards in coming forwards with giving you feedback.
That's
and
what you need.
He's like, what are you doing? Like, you should know that.
Listen.
Yeah. And
pay attention.
Like, I've just, the plumber,
the excuses don't matter there, do they?
Exactly. That's right.
Why do they matter?
And it's just, and that kind of earning and that, and I think it's really good for us, like, because there's so much thinking involved. And if you're thinking about something else and you're not present with what you're doing, there's a good chance you'll get choked or whatever. So there's like there's a physical kind of repercussion for not being present. And that's what's so good. And both my kids do it. And it's just like, it's the best for them. Like I think their tolerance for stressful situations and how they interact with adults and
discipline too.
All of that kind of, a lot of that is off the back of their journey with like jiu-jitsu. And I think it's so good. Even if you're just in there doing it once a week, like as in any profession, I think the benefits are just
through the roof.
I
wish I started it earlier.
Getting any, I think every adult does.
Yeah, for sure.
I look at Fletch and I'm like, far out.
Yeah.
Starting at 5 years old. Right?
Yeah. Awesome.
And just having that in the bank and like that skill set and then that, that problem solving, like it's just so adaptable.
Yeah.
And like, and that's what's so good about it, because like it really forces me to switch off for that hour. But then when I get back in the car, it's not like I go, okay, and pick up where I left off. I'm kind of switched off.
Slightly reset.
Yeah, reset. And then it's like, and it just keeps you fresh. And doing things outside of building, I feel like, is really important for me as well. Like, helping with Fletcher's footy team and for sure, all that kind of stuff. It's really important, because I think for me, if I just immerse myself in building 100%, I don't think I'd be that great at it. I think having that little bit of stepping away from it and focusing and putting my attention in other areas makes me a better builder for sure.
For sure. Yeah.
I think it just gives you a bit of perspective, and you don't hone in on the small stuff.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, I think like jiu-jitsu, I've tried meditation. Yeah. I used to do it a lot, actually. Well, not a lot, carrying on a bit. But I did it once or twice a week, every now and again. And I know people will say, like, it's a real struggle to meditate. And it is for me, because my mind is just going through the roof. But I've just said, no, I'm not doing that anymore, because I think jiu-jitsu, it's its own form of meditation. Yeah. And like you said about the gym, like, been doing CrossFit for years. Yeah. But I get there and I'm not even listening for the first 20 minutes, and I'm always walking around just going, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, every time it's like it's a bit of a joke now. Like, the boys are just going, come on, mate, you got to pay attention. Like, it's just so hard for me to just zone into that, because it's sort of mundane and a little bit, you don't really need to pay attention. But with jiu-jitsu, like you said, if you miss the mark on anything, you just either get made fun of, and rightly so, or you get choked out real quickly, and you're like, oh, I should have listened, you know?
Oh, 100%.
So
and the other element I really like to it is, like, there's a lot of humility to it. So it's I love the fact that, because and as Enzo gets older, you'll kind of see, I sound like an old dad when I'm saying this, but
you are an old dad.
Yeah,
that's
I am
why.
an old dad, actually. Like, they put you on a bit of a pedestal, which is awesome. It's so good. I love it. But it's also really good, like, when Fletch comes to open mats and stuff, and he'll see me he might see me get bashed up for 4 rounds in a row, and then shake hands with the guy after, and I'm like, far out. And he's like, oh, wow, like, you tapped like three times in that round. I'm like, yeah, I know, it was brutal. Hey, and we'll have a laugh.
Shook his hand, you go, how good was that?
And then he sees me getting beaten, but then wanting to learn from that experience, and then wanting to get better, because, I made a mistake here and I did this and that. And then that's kind of, he now analyses his mistakes rather than really beating himself up about it. Yeah. And he'll, like, ask for criticism on stuff. He's like, what do you think I could probably do better there? Like, not because he's super competitive or wants to win, but I think it's just in that environment, that he some black belts, smash everyone. Then sometimes they struggle with some people. Like, and it's just, like, I think it's just such a good environment for that, to see that, sees old man is human and he gets bashed up, and but gets back up and keeps going. Like, he doesn't let it bother him. Yeah. So
and seriously, kudos to you and your father. And, like, really, it is inspiring for me. I've said this about myself. I'm like, if I want Enzo to be the man that I want him to be, like, lead by example. And like, my younger self, in my 20s, if anyone knows me from then, it's not an example I wanted to have led. Like. I definitely wasn't the person that I am today. But at some point,
not many people are.
No way. In like late 20s, I was like, dude, you got to sort this shit out. And that's when the business took off. Well, not took off. That's when I started the business and all sorts of things. But I think just being able to, like, lead by example is an important thing. And he sees you giving to the community, getting choked out, showing up. Like, a lot of, like, guys want to do building for the future of their kids, and they want, they want their kids to have a great future and all this kind of stuff, which, that's another topic. I think that's a big topic. That can be a problem. But you're sort of taking yourself away from giving them the day that they need, rather than just the future that they need. They just need you to be here.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And I don't, I don't pretend to be, a master at that. Like, it's taken me a lot of years to get this balance. And, like, looking back, even maybe 5-6 years ago, I definitely didn't have it right. That's for sure. But I'm pretty stoked with where I've got it now. And like you said, it's all give and take. Appreciate the words, mate. That's awesome. And I guess it's just, it's all about the connections as well. Like, you know, I've got such good people around me, and it takes a village with kids, you know, like, and Fletch and Ev, but Fletch has been really enjoying coming like 2 days a week during holidays or 1 day a week. And he gets his like $30 a day, and he works most of the day and works hard. But the conversations that you see him have with, you know, like Jack, my apprentice, or like,
that's
all
awesome.
The boys at work, it's so good.
So good for
you
him.
can't, as a dad, you can't teach the things and experiences you can get on a building site. Admittedly, there wouldn't be some great ones for sure. Like,
depends on what kind of crew you have, you know. Like,
100%. Like, would I want him on a vape at 11? Probably not. But that's why you don't get him talking to form workers. But
I mean, you can just look at him and just go, "That's not cool."
That's right. But like, just and showing that, like, I think building has got like such a good premise of like, when you do the work, you get rewarded for it, and when you do good work, you work hard and you're honest, you get rewarded for it. And he cleans up the scaffold, sweeps, and like at 11 years old, you know, and it's $60 in a week, like, he's laughing.
Oh, that's beautiful. And
Cost me more buying him smoko, but like,
of course, but you know,
he just loves it, and like, I just love standing back, and he just might even he might even just chat to anyone, the Tyler or whatever, and he knows his way around a building site, and he's safe, and you know, worker would probably have a heart attack if they ever saw this, but like, it's just such a good spot, I think. Oh,
it's great for him, you know, as long as he's not doing anything gnarly.
100%. It's awesome.
I think, like with our apprentices, like whenever I start a new apprentice, I'm like, we're not only teaching you how to be a carpenter, we're also teaching you how to be a man. Yeah. Because obviously most of them are pretty young, and even the signed on a 24 or 25-year-old, they're still boys, you know, like. Yeah. So you're teaching them to be men with mentors, you know. Yeah. So like the foreman, the project manager, I consider them all mentors. So you look at them and they go, all right, well, that's a good man. He knows how to communicate. He's got a good relationship with his missus. He's got a good relationship with his parents. Whatever it is, I think ultimately we want to breed good men. 100%. And I think this industry really needs that.
Yeah, I think it's our responsibility too.
For sure.
And it's funny you say that, mate. I know we're trying to wrap it up, but like, it's funny you say that, because I had 2 apprentices through that COVID period, and they both, you know, they're only 18, 19, and they probably struggled a little bit through that period, like, and rightly so. Like, it was a really tricky time, and I couldn't imagine having my 18, 19-year-old like time taken away, you know, and which is what happened for them. And they probably weren't bringing the best versions of themselves to work. And then I almost I just was like, well, fuck it. If you're not going to put in the effort, I'm not going to put in the effort to you, which isn't the right approach. And I've like, probably, I don't know, 8 months ago, reached out to them both and said, hey, do you know what? Just reflecting back, like I think I dropped the ball a little bit there. Like, I think I should have probably stood back and tried to understand from your perspective a little bit more. Obviously, there was a lot going on with Hudson Lane. Like, I didn't get paid for
your own issues.
7 months or something. It was bananas. But still, I think if you commit to an apprentice and you commit to someone working for you, I think if you're happy to get them in to do the work for you, I think you need to commit a certain amount of yourself to them. For sure. To making sure that they're growing, learning, and then
get something out of it.
Something out of it. Yeah. Which I definitely failed with those 2 boys, like, for sure.
But what a man to... that links back to what we started with, right? Yeah. Just going, I fucked up. Yeah, for sure. I think you just got to do it. That's bloody masculine, you know, to go up and reach out to your younger apprentices, like, who gives a shit, you know, whatever. But you've reached out to them and said, hey, I fucked up there. Yeah. And it was a really nice conversation, and like, the boys were really stoked. Because Central Coast is small, you see them all the time, and you'd hate for there to be that little bit of animosity or tension or whatever. So, awesome. That was good. Well, yeah, let's close it off there. How good's that? Yeah. I feel lighter. Oh, same. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Mate. Thank you, mate. This is great. We'll have to try and do, I wanted to talk to you about doing like a Builders Brekkie Club. Yes. Eventually. Could just be a quick chat, half an hour, 45 minutes with a handful of builders. What are your pains? It can be just done here, it can be down at Terrigal, wherever. Yeah. Quick chat, hey, this is what's going on. Because I think like ultimately, like my thing is like trying to build as much community within builders, because we've been talking about it's a tough game.
It is. Yeah.
I know there's other industries out there that struggle, but
for sure.
I think if we stick together and help each other out, I reckon that'll be a better outcome for everyone, really, the clients, architects, ourselves, subbies,
100%.
Team.
Yeah.
So hopefully someone's learned, even if it's just us that listen to this and watch it later, and we're like, oh, that was a good point.
That's good.
Note down.
Yeah.
I'm a happy man. So
am I, mate. It's perfect.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks, mate.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
I'll catch you later.